Jurassic World Rebirth director Gareth Edwards reveals the one change Steven Spielberg wanted. The filmmaker behind Jurassic Park and Jaws had some thoughts on homages in the new film. Gareth Edwards, if you're watching this, my guy, I'm gonna fucking tear you a new one in this. So, like, if you don't want to see that, you don't want to hear that, click away. Okay. In the age of remakes, reboots, adaptations, and spin-offs, there's nothing more satisfying than catching a cleverly placed reference to the original source material. Unless you're Steven Spielberg, that is. By the way, this isn't really, like, highbrow journalism, okay? I'm just putting that out there. Allow us to explain. The latest addition to the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Rebirth, is intended as a standalone film. Wow. When I read that, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because as a standalone film, it is trash. David Koepp, the screenwriter behind the original Jurassic Park and its sequel, The Lost World, returned to write Rebirth. My guy, David Koepp, I hope that you were kind of ousted in this. I hope that you were treated poorly in this, because that would really be the only excuse for how garbage this movie turned out to be. Like, I'm borderline not even believing that you wrote this because it was so bad. But anyway, Spielberg, who famously directed the 1993 film, oh really? I think we all forgot that fact, served as an executive producer. He brought on director Gareth Edwards' Rogue One, a Star Wars story, for the 2025 installment. You guys, let me tell you something about Rogue One, okay? I went and saw that in the theater, and I almost walked out. I guess I'd have to watch it again because I haven't seen it since it came out, but about 30 minutes in, I was so fucking bored. I got out of my seat and I went over to the trash cans and I started like Snapchatting people because I was so bored for real, and I really did actually want to walk out, honestly. I'd have to watch it again, but I don't really remember it being anything special. Anyway, Jurassic World Rebirth is now available to rent or own on digital. Film nerds, take note: if you choose to buy, you'll get access to bonus content, including a feature called Hunting for Easter Eggs, where the crew unpacks hidden references to the earlier Jurassic films. Author Michael Crichton, Jaws, and more of Spielberg's blockbusters. You're really going to take this opportunity, Gareth Edwards, to make a movie. And instead of making your own goddamn movie, you have to put in a cajillion Easter eggs to Jurassic Park, Jaws, and Michael Crichton. Really? Really? Because, like, sorry, I think that's kind of fucking stupid. I only saw one Easter egg that I recall. I guess I wasn't looking very carefully. And the one that I remember seeing was at one point, a school bus was in the background, and it was just driving by in the background, and the name on the school said Crichton Middle School or something. And I was like, oh, okay, they're clearly referencing Michael Crichton there. Obviously, and unfortunately, there were a ton of references to Jaws in this movie, which I found incredibly obnoxious. I actually just saw Jaws because they put it back in the theater for the 50th year anniversary. But I'm like, I'm borderline kind of disenchanted with Jaws, even though it's a great movie, because directors like, Gareth Edwards are so fucking obsessed with referencing it in their movies. Make your own movie. Okay. Oh yeah, like we didn't know that Jurassic films, author Michael Crichton and Jaws were, and more of Spielberg's blockbusters. Make your own fucking movie, guy. Okay. But when Good Housekeeping sat down with Gareth to chat about behind-the-scenes secrets, he revealed the biggest surprise of all. There were almost no Easter eggs in the film. Okay. That's the biggest... Fam, if that's the biggest surprise about your movie, like, you might want to reassess your whole life's purpose and whether or not you ought to be making movies. Because if the point of your movie is there are Easter eggs in it, I'm going to go ahead and accurately say that it's not a good movie. And Jurassic World Rebirth is not a good movie. I don't know why you would make a movie just to make Easter eggs. Sorry, I think that's so incredibly stupid. Okay, it's a bit of a gift as a... sorry, let me be English, because I just learned he's English. Another problem. It's a bit of a gift as a filmmaker to have Steven Spielberg hand you a screenplay and say, this is your playground. It was a filmmaker's dream. It felt like a pizza where each slice, each section of the movie was its own genre, Gareth told us. That's a problem, because this movie was in fact incredibly, like, all over the place. Like, we had the one group, and then we randomly jumped to another group that was not even yet established, and it was very, like, choppy and weird. So I wouldn't really say that's a good thing. But anyway, we got a picture. Gareth Edwards with Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson. Okay, wow. They have behind the scenes pictures. That's great. It has things in it which are very Spielbergian, obviously. I love all those movies, and to me it was an excuse to try and play in those same sandpits. And then what happened is I showed the first cut to Stephen and David and got a little telling off for too many Easter eggs and homages, he revealed. I'm kind of worried about Spielberg too, honestly, at this rate. I think he's like 80, I think, now. I mean, no one can live forever, unfortunately, but, like, my guy is losing touch if he's like, if his major criticism of this movie was there are too many Easter eggs. That was all you had to say about the movie, Steven? Because there was a shit ton wrong with the actual movie itself other than Easter eggs. Putting that out there. Okay. After taking them out, the film was played to a test audience, and feedback included asking for more love for the original Jurassic. Okay, that's very weird to me. I understand that test audiences sign up to be a test audience, and you clearly are someone who very much enjoys films. You're probably pumped to see anything. I mean, I'm pumped to see anything, right? But, like, in all seriousness, like, that's actually not the type of people you want for a test screening. You want much more average civilians. You probably want to get people who go into it not knowing what it is actually, so they can give you a more accurate read on the film, right? Anyway, and it's weird that they included the feedback included asking for more love for the original Jurassic. Why don't they just re-release the original Jurassic Park? I'm being serious. I'm being dead fucking serious. There's probably some kind of copyright issue that prevents them from doing so. But, like, why do we need this absolute trash pile Jurassic World Rebirth when we could just simply replay the first fucking movie in a theater? I don't get it. Okay. Gareth was given permission to put a few references back in, and he said, I think we ended up with the right balance. You didn't, bro. You did not. You ended up with a trash pile of a movie that made money because of the franchise that it's connected to, and it had special effects in it, and it was a garbage pile of a movie, my guy. I don't know what else to tell you. You should be ashamed of this movie in all seriousness, because the legacy that is Jurassic Park is pretty fucking serious, and you managed to make a child trying to get out of the grips of a T-Rex boring. So, do with that information what you will. Steven Spielberg with Joseph Mazzello during the filming of Jurassic Park. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember that. I was too young, but I know that this did in fact occur, okay? Anyway, I can understand, because from their point of view, they made the first film, and so they're like, oh, move on, it's okay. But as a fan of the original Jurassic Park, and why I wanted to become a film director to some extent, you go to the cinema wanting to have that. I wanted it to feel like Universal Studios had gone into the vaults and found an old reel of film, and it was called Jurassic World Rebirth, and it was a movie from the early 90s they'd forgotten they'd made. So sorry, but I'm not sorry, he added with a grin. Brosif, it could not have looked farther from that if it tried. It did not fucking look like Universal Studios had gone into the vaults and found an old reel of film that it was called Jurassic World, and they just happened to forget to release it shortly after the first Jurassic Park movie. It did not feel like that at fucking all, my guy. Like, I don't know what your problem is. I mean, maybe it's like the self-aggrandizing of being a film director. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying film directors aren't talented, because clearly they very much are. But, like, this movie was so bad. This movie was so bad. I don't know why you would say this. Like, okay, you know what? I'm glad he wanted it to feel that way. I don't think it's bad to want to feel that way. But once you watch the result and you also get accurate feedback from a test audience, it should have been fucking obvious to you that it felt nothing like that. Nothing like that. Okay? Absolutely zero like that. It felt, you know what? It did feel kind of like Jurassic Park, but just because it's like the same general premise. You guys, when I used to care for a little boy, he used to watch this Jurassic Park show, and I didn't like watch it carefully with him, but I did see a fair amount of episodes. It was a CGI show. It was a bunch of kids somehow accidentally got into the Jurassic Park, and quite literally the same fucking thing would happen again and again and again on the show. I don't know why these kids were in the park. I don't know why they were stuck in the park for so long, but they were in there, and every single time it would be them running from a dinosaur. They got into some safe area, and then they were in the safe area for a little bit, and more dinosaurs came, and they had to run away again. Like, that show felt like Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay, this kind of mental masturbation needs to stop. I just made a video about this. I'll post that one before I post this one. Okay. I think you should be embarrassed for this movie, my guy, because I don't know who actually liked it, like, for real. You know what? If you really care, I'm going to fucking go here. If you really care about your film, right? Obviously, some people are just going to like a movie with giant CGI dinosaurs in it, period. Some, the dumbasses who just, see a movie and see a clap and say, oh, that was cool. They're going to like it. You should be more interested and concerned with people like me who clearly fucking know what they're talking about, know what makes a good movie, are aware of the theatrical experience, and not just people who want to seal clap at it. Obviously, let's be happy we have people who seal clap at things. That's great. That's fun. That's to be expected. But like I said in my video reviewing this exact movie, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the art form. It's disrespectful to the audience. It's disrespectful to dinosaurs. I mean that. I'm serious. I don't think dinosaurs would like this movie that he made. You know what? It's not so much that dinosaurs wouldn't like it, but I just feel like we really ought to. We fucking worship dinosaurs, okay? For real. We do. They're like us. They were on the earth for so long, and then we didn't even know exactly what it was, but then they got wiped out. Like, they're a fascinating group of animals. And I think it's our job not to make these shitty, like, Pulp Fiction fluff movies about them. Putting that out there. Okay. I don't know why did you think it looked 90s, my guy? You didn't even use any 90s cameras. I don't know what, I have no idea how he came to that conclusion. Anyway, Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson in Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay, another departure from the earlier films was the change in filming locations. Okay, I may not even read this because it's so pointless. While the original Jurassic Park and its sequels are known for shooting in Hawaii, primarily Oahu and Kauai, Rebirth was filmed mostly in Thailand. Oh my god! Wow, amazing! Oh, that's so amazing. They had a different filming location. That is so interesting. Okay, you always start with You always start with visual references, and they're usually very ambitious, and most people look at them and go, where are you going to find that? And the answer for us was Thailand. Gareth said, you guys, as much as I love movies, like, you've seen it, you saw it on my, the Whoppy Lappin' one I did, with the two rabbits interviewing each other, where they ask stupid fucking questions, and, like, I don't even watch, like, behind-the-scenes stuff anymore, because it is quite literally never interesting. It's like regular journalism, too. Like, they just present you with information, they're like, here's the information. None of it's really that interesting. All of these answers could have been very much predicted. Okay, goodbye, you're welcome. And I'm like, what is the point of that? Anyway, okay, Good Housekeeping was invited to interview Gareth and some of the Jurassic World Rebirth cast in Phuket, Thailand, which you can see in the video above. He explained how the natural landscape informed his directing and actually changed how he took the story from script to screen. Okay, that's not new. That's ain't nothing new there, fam. Yeah, you sometimes can't find the exact right location, and you have to change up the script a little bit. You have to change up the scenes a little bit. That is not new. That I would say that happens probably in 100% of movies. 100% of mainstream commercial movies, studio funded movies. I would say that likely happens. Ain't nothing new. They're grasping right here. So he changed it all. Instead of them nearly falling down a ledge, it became about maybe there's a creature in the water, maybe they slipped. That's where Thailand started to affect the screenplay. It was more organic, finding great places and then changing these to make sure it all tied together. He explained that there were loads of examples of this, including the notable scene where the T-Rex first notices the Delgado family on the raft. Yeah, that was another stupid Jaws reference. If you're going to reference Jaws, why don't you reference a more interesting part of it? Because I think we all remember them being on the boat. I think you want to reference Jaws in a more subtle way. Go ahead and do it. But you want to put a bunch of people on a boat and have them get chased by a giant water animal? Wow, I don't think we've seen that before, have we? Okay. As we drove in to look at it and drove out, it was in a quarry where there was this old equipment and machinery just abandoned. He decided that was where they should film the Delgados returning to the facility at the end of the movie. That made no sense, by the way. It didn't make sense why there were any facilities in where they went, because they were in dinosaur territory, and also why the fuck were the lights on? In, the convenience store they went. The fuck was there a convenience store in dinosaur territory? And if there was one, why were the lights on? And why was there still stuff in there? Did that place get abandoned, less than 5 years ago? It was my understanding they had been abandoned for a long, long time. More than 5 years. By a long, long time, I mean more than that. So we invented that section and took some of the dialogue from elsewhere and put it in there. Oh my god, like they always do in movies. Amazing. The location presented both opportunities and challenges for the cast and crew. You want to play to the strengths of a location rather than impose your ideas too much on it. A lot of the places we filmed in were national parks, so you can't leave a trace, and you have to roll with it the way it is and rethink. You might have storyboarded it a certain way, but there's the trees there and you can't move it. Okay, is he... Obviously... For a movie centered around dinosaurs, which, spoiler alert, are very much still extinct in real life, utilizing actual locations is even more important to the look and feel of the film. You're going to be adding that false bit, so you need something real as a foundation. Gareth concluded, I would take that any day over filming on the soundstage and having everything be fake. Well, my guy, good fucking luck making a good movie, because Jurassic World Rebirth was trash.